Are you true to yourself? Are you actually going for the things that you need to be going for in order to be successful? Well, we're going to talk about it when we get back. I'm CLM II for With Power, the channel that helps find the inner power in you. Hey, happy Monday. We hope everyone out there, of course, had a fantastic weekend. We know Storm Elsa was rolling up the East Coast, and we've had a lot of rain for those of you on the East Coast, all the way down from Florida all the way up to New England. You probably have been hit with some tropical storms, some tornadoes. I know here in the tri-state area we was hit with a tremendous amount of rain, trees falling all over the place. So, the weather is the weather. We're in summer now and we get these type of storms. So everyone out there, be careful, and we hope everyone out there is safe. So tonight I'm just going to talk about something that I've been thinking about. And I'm going to be talking more and more about these things in the future, which is the strength or the power that we all have within ourselves. And today we're just going to talk about that inner strength, that inner power, the power to be able to control your desires, the power and the mental capacity to be able to do the things that you need to do in order to be successful. So the question is, do you have that inner strength? Do you have that inner power in order to control your desires and your wants, especially when they're not good for you? Many times we do things that we believe will benefit us, but in the long run, they're just not good for us. And I figured to talk about this tonight because I discovered this show over the past week, and some of you may know of it. It's a reality show and it's called Beyond the Pole. And for those who don't know it, you can imagine what it's about. When you talk about pole, it's about strippers. And it's interesting because I've been thinking about this over the last couple of weeks about our young Black and brown females and how the entertainment industry have been exploiting them for years. I mean, this is nothing new. We all know about it, but it's just more visual because of all of the media outlets that we have today. And I guess it first came to me when I seen I believe it was the BET Awards. And I've been watching these award shows for years now. And I can truly say that it looks like everyone who performs on these shows has a big budget. Because back in the day, in the 80s, when only Michael Jackson was the only one that came out with an entourage of dancers, as opposed to, well, not as opposed to, but of course he got his style from the old time vaudeville acts and those big shows that they used to put on when they tap dance, and they would dance and they would have a whole bunch of women and men dancing around them. If you look at some of the old movies from the 40s and the 50s, it was glamorous, big budget movies, and you would see someone tap dance, a man and a female, a man and a lady, they'd be dancing, and they would have all these other dancers around them. And Michael, he loved those old movies, and he kind of incorporated that into his act when he started doing videos. And, Michael's videos got bigger and bigger and bigger. So I bring that up because looking at the BET Awards, I noticed that everyone who performed has a budget now, and with that money, they hire these dancers. And many of the dancers are female. And many of the female dancers are showing a lot of, or doing, I should say, a lot of erotic movements. And I'm looking at these acts on the BET Awards, and I'm saying to myself, man, my young sisters are out there, and everything is booty shaking routines. They're all booty shaking routines, and of course the outfits are very, very provocative, very, very revealing. And myself, I've been in the entertainment industry on and off for many years, so I understand that sex sells. I understand that good-looking women sell. I just noticed that in our culture, our women are just, it's in my mind, it's like off the charts now. So what has happened is that in the 90s, when they started making these provocative videos, especially coming out the hip hop world, when they started making these provocative videos, it then went to the live stage. You would just see it in the videos, but then from the videos it went to the stage. And when you go to a live show, you actually see the video girl on stage. She's dancing. And from there, you come into the 2000s, and we now have these reality shows. And on the reality shows, especially with our people, the young ladies are, they're putting a lot of money into glamming the young ladies up. And even if it's not a provocative show, the young ladies are still glammed up, and they're showing a lot of body shots, right? Showing a lot of body shots. I guess the most successful show out there, of course, is Housewives of Atlanta, and all those ladies are showing a lot of body shots. So I find this reality show called Beyond the Pole, and it's an interesting concept because the ladies have to start thinking about what are they going to do when they leave the stage, the strip club. And it's very difficult. It's difficult to earn that type of money on a nightly basis. And some of the money that these women were talking about, $1,000 a night, $2,000 a night that they're going home with. So it depends on how many nights you're working. So if you just typically work 5 nights a week, you're taking home $5,000 to $6,000 a week, and that's cash money. They're not giving you a check. They're not taking any taxes out. Of course, you have to pay other people. You have to pay the club owners. You got to make sure that you pay the bartenders and the wait staff. You do give everybody a little tip because they all contribute to you making your money. So that's the tax, I guess you would say. That's the tax. But you're going home with a nice stack of cash. And you have to really ask yourself, is it all worth it? Well, that's what this show is about. So this show is about how are these ladies going to transition from being on stage, being on the pole, and now having to do a normal life. So we have to start thinking even amongst ourselves, are we doing things that we may later regret because you hear some of that regret in these women. And I must admit that the producers have done a great job with bringing out, some of their stories. And of course, we know that a lot of the strippers back in the day were doing this because, hey, you needed the money. You may not have had the skills to go out and get a regular job, or you may wanted to get something and someone told you, hey, you can go on the pole and you can make that money quickly. So what happens? You become addicted to it. You become addicted to getting that money on a nightly basis. And do you have the inner strength, the inner power? Do you have the power within in order to say no? You may have done it because you needed to do it at that time, but now it's time to walk away. And do you have the power to say no? Do you have that inner strength to say, it's time for me to get out of here? It's time for me to walk away. Fast money is not always good money. You have the cars and you have the home and you have the jewelry and, you've done well for yourself in the nightclub. But do you have the inner strength to walk away? Well, this is what this reality show is about. And of course, the producers have to keep it lively, so they create some tension. Of course, it's all created. It's all tension that's created, and between the ladies and stuff like that. But that's not really the important part. The important part that I've seen from it is to see the sadness in these women when they realize that to walk away from $5,000 a week, sometimes thousands of dollars a night, and trying to find another way to earn a living is very, very difficult. And you can feel the pain that they're going through because they don't really know, where to go. They don't know what to do. Some of them are really, really desperate. So it's a really, really interesting show. So I guess the question that I have for you out there who's watching this, have you ever asked yourself, have you ever done a job where you earn some money, but you really are not happy doing that job? And I can remember doing that about 20 years ago in 2000, I guess 21 years ago, in the year 2000, I was working a job and I was offered another job. And the offer came in, and of course, when someone offers you a job, you're very, very excited because you feel validated. You're like, hey, I feel worthy. You value me. You want me to come work for you. And I was offered this job, and the job gave me a $15,000 raise. I was like, woo, that's fantastic. $15,000 raise? Who wouldn't want an extra 15 grand? And then the benefits were, we're not only going to give you a $15,000 raise, we're going to give you your own car. Ooh, nice. We're going to give you a cell phone. Fantastic. And we're going to give you a team of people. I was a manager. We're going to give you a team of people. And your job is to manage them, help them do well. And if you help them do well, then you will get a bonus on top of your salary. I was like, wow. Plus the regular benefits, health, dental, 401k, all that was built in. So, something like that is hard to turn down. And the job that I had, I loved the job. It was a great job. I really enjoyed it. But this was in my ear. This money was in my ear. Money. And it's not so much the money, as we know. It's what the money can buy. Because now I'm thinking, oh, this is fantastic. I can buy this. I can save up for that. I can do this. So as you can imagine, I hopped on it. 6 months later, I was trying to find out an exit plan. I needed to get out of that job. It was terrible. Out of my 30-year career working, this was the worst job I've ever had. And it wasn't because the job itself was bad. The job itself was good. It was because I wasn't good at the job. And that always bothered me because I was always a person that always had that strength within to be able to accomplish anything. I was smart, I was quick, I was a quick learner, but I just was not able to do a good job. And I tried and I asked for help. And, the person who hired me, I asked them for help, and I asked my colleagues for help. What was I doing wrong? Why wasn't I getting the same results as other people who I thought I was just as good as? And I realized that this job was not for me. So I didn't have the inner strength at that time to evaluate the situation, assess the situation, and say, hey, you know what? I'm good where I am. I need to find another way to achieve my goals. But I wanted the quick money. And it was a bad experience. Now, luckily, I was good enough where I was able to, get me another job in the same place I was at previously, except in a higher position. I was able to go back at a higher position. So it worked out for me well. All right. So that's just a quick story. And many of you out there may have stories like this about not having the inner strength to be able to turn down something that looks good on the outside. But instead of sitting back, doing an assessment and thinking about it, having that inner power to be able to make a complete decision, sometimes we hop on it. And then we suffer because we find out that that's not really where we want to be. Something to think about. Inner strength, inner power, inner truth. Do you have the power to be truthful to yourself? What's the saying? To thine own self, be true. Interesting stuff. Well, that's it for this week. I'm CLM II for With Power. And listen, if you like the content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit the little notification bell so you'll know every time we upload a video. And I will see you next time.